What's going on? My name is Jacob, and this is a podcast called Music and More, presented by Musicians Daily. And I have with me Brett Staska for episode 3. Say what up.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
So, we talk about some cool stuff. We talk about kind of the music scene in the area, about Brett's original music, his involvement with Root Shakedown. What else do we talk about?
Just local venues that we appreciate, you know. I think we might have a little rap battle coming up as well, so...
Yeah, you can let us know who wins in that. There's a smoke detector beeping in the background also, but ignore that. I'll explain that more in the podcast. Let's get into it. Okay, bye. Let's check it again.
Yes, checking. Check, credit, debit, check.
Cool. Brett,
Jacob,
how are you?
how are you, my good friend?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Thanks for letting me come over to the Roots Shakedown compound.
Yeah, thanks for coming down. This is the Root Shakedown compound. This is where we practice, rehearse. A lot of magic happens in this room, and thank you for coming.
What kind of magic?
Magic of all sorts. Musical magic, party magic. Just the vibes are alive.
The vibes are alive. They're certainly alive here. And you guys hear an occasional beep in the background. There's a smoke detector that needs the batteries changed, but the ceiling is 50 feet tall. And I told Brett to go up there and change it, and he said no because he's scared of falling.
Yeah, we don't really use smoke detectors at the Root Shakedown compound, but I will try and fix it at some point.
It's a safety issue. That's all I'm saying. So, just like that, I don't know if you guys heard that. It just went off. But, so... tell everybody about Brett Staska. What's going on with you? Tell them kind of little elevator pitch on who you are.
Right on. Well, yeah, my name is Brett Staska. I'm a musician down here in South Florida, West Palm Beach to be exact. I play bass in a reggae band called Root Shakedown that we mentioned earlier. And I also do solo acoustic stuff around town. It's a little bit more of the folk variety. Basically just play gigs for a living and make money that way, and just surf and go on trips wherever I can and try and play gigs along the way to pay for the way. And that's basically who I am.
How's that been going for you?
So far so good, you know. It's kind of like a humble living, but it's awesome when you get to travel different places and play for different people, you know. I'll go out to Cali for like a month at a time, line up a string of shows. Played out in Puerto Rico.
You played in Puerto Rico?
Yes.
How was that?
It was actually... Actually, it wasn't really that official because it was just a party in someone's backyard. But
you played?
I played. It counts. It counts.
It counts.
No, it was funny. I went down on a surf trip, and the guy I went with, he's like, oh, my good friend from back here in Florida, it's actually his birthday. And I get over there, and they have like a full-on PA set up in the backyard and stuff. And I was just expecting to just show up and just, you know, like...
Did you have your guitar with you or use someone else's?
No, yeah, just use someone else's, you know, just kind of spur-of-the-moment type deal. But, you know, that type of stuff just happens all over the place, you know? It's just what makes it fun along the way, little fun stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah, we did some traveling this time last year in the summer. We
did.
My band, the Helmsman, we toured off our second release, our little record, and we brought Brett along to do some direct support. We did Gainesville, Ocala, and where else did we go?
Orlando.
Yeah, we played the Social. That was some good times.
Yeah, that was great. We played with Ethan Parker Band.
Yeah,
we played
with Ethan Parker
and
Band.
And it was
in Orlando.
actually a benefit for the Pulse nightclub shootings. So 100% of the doors went straight to the victims' families and whatever fund they had set up for that. So
yeah, that was really close together around that time.
Yeah, the Social, great venue.
Yeah, awesome venue. And yeah, shout out to Ethan Parker Band for kind of like getting they set that whole thing up. That was pretty good.
That was cool.
But
But yeah, that was cool going out on the road with you guys, man, the helmsmen. We went to like some springs along the way out there in Central Florida.
Yeah, we
That
went
was
to some
cool.
springs. Brett was trying to surf them spring waves, and it just the park ranger.
Yeah, remember you came up to me. All right, so we're just trying to film a funny video, you know, like bring the surfboard. I stopped in New Smyrna along the way, so I had my boards with me, and we go to this spring, and I'm like, all right, we'll bring the board down, just like float around, make a funny video about how it's firing at the spring. And I'm walking midway down, the park ranger comes up to me on a golf cart,
flies up to you on a golf cart,
and he's like, you can't go in the water with that thing because the fins are sharp, and you're gonna cut someone.
Were those fins sharp?
I mean, surfboard fins, they are kind of sharp, but I had no idea why I couldn't bring that down and just float in the water on it. But I was baffled, but it was a good laugh.
It was a good laugh. It was some good times. And then we did like a little, you had your guitar, and Jesse had his ukulele, the singer of my band. We kind of did like a little acoustic session. What kind of guitar were you playing? Well, you got like a generic Martin sort of thing, right?
Yeah, it's I don't even know the model number, but it's like one of those laminated Martins, Koa, and it's a basic like low end Martin, but it's great for bringing out to gigs and
that's what
you know what I mean? That's what I primarily use. Yeah.
Excuse me, I just had a burp. Yeah, that Martin's pretty sick because I really like the tone you get out with your. You're staring at me real weird. No, I'm just kidding. That Martin's sick though that you use for your solo stuff. What do you kind of do for your solo stuff to kind of get like I mean, because it's different. Everyone approaches solo acoustic gigs differently. People just kind of capo 5, just play some chords, very open. A lot of people like to layer some stuff. A lot of people have fancy hands and they're able to do the bass, percussion, and strum at the same time.
Right.
But you kind of do some like looping, but you kind of also do some kind of like you do some beats on your guitar too, but you get some sick low frequencies. Like it's almost like there's a bass up there too with you.
Yeah, definitely. I like using loop pedals, you know, to fill out the sound a little more, but I don't exclusively use them on every song because there is that fan out there that doesn't appreciate it sometimes, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you want to keep somewhat of an organic sound at the same time. So I try to mix it up like half and half, and for my live shows, that is. And my recorded stuff's mainly like folk, bluesy bass, you know?
Sunburnt folk, as I would call it.
Yeah. That's what we call it, or that's what I call it. And it's funny because I read an article online, and they're like, if you're coming up with like a band or something, come up with like a, not necessarily a genre, but like a tagline, you know what I mean?
Yeah, my band, the Helmsmen, we're island indie.
There you go.
Because we have like, we have a ukulele, we got that beach influences, but we
Right.
also have kind of like the indie rock folk kind of background. But no, yeah, Sunburnt folk, when I saw that, and I saw kind of like your logo too, it's just kind of like some trees, and like it kind of gave like the feel for it, but it's like
exactly
the colors you chose too kind of made it feel like almost tropical.
Cool. Yeah, for sure. And like we were saying, like obviously beach culture is a huge influence on my style of music, as it is yours too, in the Helmsmen. You know, we live in like a beautiful beachside communities down here in South Florida, so obviously that's gonna rub off on the music. But a lot of times I don't really like writing songs about like the beach, and I do have one song about the beach, but
Which one's that?
it's called Saturday at the Beach, actually. But it's a newer song, and but for the most part, I don't know, I feel like it's almost like a cheesy thing to write about the beach and like, you know, the trees, and I don't know what I'm trying to get at here, but
You're offending so many people. No, I'm just kidding. I absolutely know what you're saying, because you can just take one subject and just completely write about it. I mean, it's just like, what if every song you wrote about was about girls? So, I mean, it's just, you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like your music kind of speaks on like more of a mature level. I mean, because of course, living in South Florida.
Well, thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah, just relax. Because living in South Florida, like, beach culture and just kind of like the lifestyle is just it's a big influence on me personally, but like as you too being like a traveling surfer, but just kind of your approach on the subject too. It's not completely like head on what you're talking about. It talks about more about life in general.
Right. Yeah. You just don't. I don't know. No, for sure. I just feel like it's super cheesy when people just. Hold on.
There's this huge roach here. I don't even know.
I don't want to get you cord all roachy.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, roach. Oh man, that roach is fast.
It's gone. All right. Hold on. What did you say right before?
I was talking about your music, kind of. It's beach influence because I mean that's the culture we live in, but
Yeah.
also just it touches on more. I mean, you can see where it starts, but it just expands more. Like one of your songs, "No Worries." It's one of my favorites.
Well, thank you, sir. And yeah, it's just kind of a natural thing, I feel like anything that's forced is kind of like not appealing to a lot of people, and if you're more natural and
organic food is really popular, so it's also popular in music.
It's true. Whole Foods does well.
Whole Foods, Fresh Market, those juice places. They're
Come see
killing it.
this guy. You might have a beer tub set up. Lagunitas.
Yo, yeah, Lagunitas plug.
Shout out.
Unofficial shout out. But I kind of want to talk about your music for a minute because I was listening to it on the way here. And yeah, Sunburnt Folk, it just kind of nails it right there because it has the beach influence but the folkiness, but it's not so much talking about the beach. Some of my favorite songs is like No Worries. So what's kind of like the backstory on that?
Yeah, No Worries. That's the title track off my first release. And I don't know, that song just kind of came up organically, like you mentioned. I get these ideas in my head with like thick harmonies, and I don't know, I just run with it. And that song specifically is about so that song No Worries is the title track off my first release, and it's kind of like a personal mantra of mine, just going through life. You kind of, even if you come across obstacles or whatever you may be facing, like as long as you deal with it like with like the right mindset and like a light kind of attitude about things, like everything will just kind of go its own way. And I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Just friggin' just have no worries, dude.
Yeah, so that was my first release, but recently I just came out with a little 2-track 45, and it was more the full band blues variety. And I recorded with my buddy who's actually across the way from us over here right now, Brendan Curtin, over here at Electric Bang Box Studios. And we did the drums and the guitar live, and then I overdubbed the bass and the vocals, and it's a real like raw kind of rock and roll sound, and it's a little something different for me. But I've always been heavily influenced by bands like the Stones and CCR and stuff, so I wanted to kind of do something in that vein, and that's what I have out right now.
Yeah, I was jamming on that on the way over. Gimme, and then Low Stepper, right?
Yeah.
So sick. I remember when you first played Low Stepper, because you opened for my band, The Helmsman, as direct support for our CD release party.
Yeah.
But when you were warming up backstage, you were playing that. I'm like, what is that? It's sick. It definitely had kind of like a different feel. It's very creative. I mean, it was
for sure, man.
I mean, it's a 1-4-5 in the key of E, but I mean, your approach on it it's pretty cool.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, it's a little something different for me, but I just always loved music. I grew up with my parents listening to that music, so it's always been a huge influence on me, even if it wasn't like the style I necessarily came out with at first.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, as you grow as a person, so does your taste in things and music.
Right. And I also wanted to mention, like, my favorite musician is probably like Ben Harper, you know what I mean? And the fact that he crosses so many genres and is not like confined to just one, I really appreciate and love that. And because me personally, I love every style of music, I love like anything from folky stuff that I do to like harder rock to punk to rap to reggae with my reggae band, jam stuff. It doesn't matter, like as long as it's good music, you know, you can appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact that Ben Harper like crosses genres like that. So I kind of try to do like similar approach. I'm not saying I'm comparing myself to him, but
Yeah, we get it.
yeah. No, you know what I mean though.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. You're definitely experimenting from what, I mean, you've had No Worries. That EP was like, I think 5 tracks, right? Or 6?
It was 4.
It was 4. Almost got it. But yeah, 4. I mean, just what those 4 songs were, and then compared to the 2 you just came out with, Gimme Gimme and Low Stepper. It's I mean, you're growing. I mean, another example for that is one of my personal favorite people, John Mayer. I mean, look at his first record and just kind of follow him with each record. Even I mean, if you like hip hop, even look at someone like Mac Miller, who is 17, kind of bumping out little mixtapes and this and that. And the past 2 records, going from Blue Slide Park, which it was very, very catchy, poppy hooks with rap stuff. But I mean, the stuff that he does now, it's so, it's out there, but it's very melodic and instrument heavy too. And like he sings on some, he plays like guitar on some tracks too. But artists like that just kind of evolving. I can already see that with you.
Well, hey man, I appreciate that. And yeah, I know you really like John Mayer, and he is so sick. Like, people always want to hate on him and stuff, you know. Like,
I was a hater at first, I would admit.
But there's no denying he has some jams and guitar chops, obviously, you know.
Oh my gosh, for sure. Who are some of your favorite guitar players?
Wow.
I didn't mean to get that personal, but
you know, I would have to say obviously Hendrix, because just like the sounds that guy came up with is like,
oh, he revolutionized the Strat. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, I'm a big Tom Petty fan, so I don't know the lead guitarist for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but that guy is
sick. You've seen how often have you seen Tom Petty?
A couple times.
I mean, how many shows? Not often. Like your homies.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know, probably like 4 times or so. Mm-hmm. And I usually go with my mom because she's a big Tom Petty fan as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, Tom's still ripping. The band's still ripping. They sound great. I just saw them last time when they came through with like, I think it was Joe Walsh actually.
Okay.
And that was sick. Joe Walsh still rips as well.
And then one more.
Oh, one more. Okay, yeah, one more. I don't know. Let's see. My other top guitarist. I would have to say probably Duane Allman, because if you listen to a lot of older Allman Brothers stuff, just like his slide work is insane. Like, you know, all those songs, all those classic riffs, and it doesn't really get much better than Duane Allman, you know.
I wish I could rip at slide. It's so
slide,
cool.
Yeah. Slide's tough, man, but it sounds so sick. Derek.
Derek, not Derek Trucks, Derek Campbell.
Derek Campbell, yes.
That's what we're talking about.
That is who
the
we're
guitar
talking
player in my band. It's insane. That reminds me, I gotta show you some of our new
that
tunes.
Song that what's the name of that song with that kind of southern rock slide riff?
All right.
Yeah,
we just recorded that up in St. Augustine. I can't really talk about the studio that much. I mean, I know I sound like such a diva, but I literally was told not to talk about the studio or the producer, but it was such a great experience. We got to record everything on tape, all analog stuff. It was
So is it pricey?
It was spicy.
You don't.
It was spicy.
We don't have to get down to the numbers or anything, but you know what I mean.
I'll give you a number. Ask me any question.
So, how much is it to record to tape? Like, is it hourly or what? Was it like a whole project type rate or?
Well, the thing is, with this producer,
without going into it,
no, for sure. I'll answer something. It's just, with stuff like that, of course, it's gonna, like, if you reach out to someone, it's gonna be different than someone reaching out to you,
right?
Or collectively, you reach out to someone and they want to work with you. So price wise, it's gonna be different that way. This producer actually saw us on tour last year, and we had a connection with him, and we were talking to him, and then we came to it like a mutual understanding of negotiation with price. And what I just did there was called blocking and bridging. I learned that in public relations school. You asked me a direct question. I didn't give you a direct answer.
Right.
I blocked it and I bridged it.
That must be like what the politicians use, something like that, right?
The politicians do use that. You want to talk about politics?
No, I
didn't
not.
think so.
I do not.
Because that would have been quite the segue.
No, but you might be good at politics if that's an avenue you want to pursue.
I am absolutely awful at politics. I can tell you what I like and I can tell you why I like it, but I can't tell you other stuff.
But without naming the studio, I know you mentioned to me that like people like JJ Gray recorded there, Donovan, Frank.
Yeah,
Ryder,
some big names, and just not even.
cool,
I mean,
man.
not even the fact that they're like big names. Just the sound that they have,
right,
is
it's kind of that old analog.
It's that old analog, warm, almost like a vintage approach on things.
That little hiss, you almost got the little hiss.
You got
in the background.
like you start a song, hiss. And we ain't talking rap tracks. But so this time of the podcast, I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah, we'll talk about roots. I got a this time of the podcast where I usually post a status where who we're interviewing and if we got any questions. So I posted did you see the question we got?
No.
So
someone asked a question?
I posted on Facebook, gonna be hanging out with Brett Staska, doing a podcast. What are some of the questions I should ask him? And where did it go? I gotta find it.
Someone deleted it, bro.
No.
Was it funny?
It was funny. Because I was gonna ask you something like this. But I'll just directly ask you. So,
perfect.
Dude, where is
so
it?
You mentioned it, you're like, yo, we got a question on Facebook.
Yeah. Here we go. So I asked Brett. So I post on Facebook some questions like, hey, actually, no, I post on Facebook who I'm about to have a podcast with. I'm like, hey, what are some questions you want me to ask? And so I'm like, I'm going to be chilling with Brett Staska, doing some Musicians Daily stuff. What should I ask him? And then our first question from Mick Rude. He's from Spread.
This is going to be great.
He's from Spread the Dub. I did a Meet Musicians Daily episode on him. Definitely check that out.
Yeah, Mick.
Awesome guy. This comment has got 1 heart like love because you can react to posts now, and 1 like.
It must be good.
From Mick Rude. How does he get that hair shine in his hair? No, I read that wrong. How does he get that hair? How does he get that shine in his hair? That's what it is. How does he get that shine in his hair? Which I've been wondering. Brett, you used to have lovely locks like I do. But I mean, you cut your hair, but your hair is still kind of a little shaggy, but it's still luscious and beautiful. So, you want to give some product secrets? How do you get that shine in your hair?
Use Paul Mitchell. No, I'm just kidding. But no, just from, I guess, surfing a lot, just the sun gives it natural highlights. I've never really put anything in my hair or anything, but
you never use any product in your hair.
No, I think once maybe when I was in middle school and I did that bleach thing, like in sync, like everyone I think did in the year of like
you did that
2001 or whatever it was.
Oh, I was like first grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a young buck, but
I was a little younger, but
that shit was the rage back in the day.
Man, that's funny. Oh my gosh, that's funny. But no, I totally know what you mean because my hair was 17 inches. It was down to my nips.
You look just like Jesus.
I was because I went to private school my whole life, so I was told how to cut my hair, shave my face, and all that stuff. So once I graduated, I pretty much just said, screw it. I'm just gonna let it rage. Well, mainly the fact I was just
You moved out of your house and were living on the street.
Yeah, I just moved out, and then my parents were like, "What the heck are you doing?" I'm like, I'll just be back when I'm hungry, but at peace." And then I just
he was under Indian Town Bridge actually for a couple years, and that's actually how the helmsman started.
That underpass, like I was just down there just yodeling, and the helmsman liked me so much. But I don't yodel in the helmsman. I kind of do this as a side project. No, but since I had my long hair, I know what you're saying as far as the salt water.
The salt and the sun just, natural highlights, it does wonders.
Beauty secrets from Brett Staska.
Yes. This is like, what's those like teen teeny bopper magazines.
Yeah, like Teen Choice or something like that.
I know you probably got a couple of those, Jacob.
Oh, I got Miley Cyrus when she started on Hannah Montana season 1. She was front cover.
Got you.
I got Taylor Swift when she was 13. She's starting off, and I got Zendaya. Those are my top 3 teeny boppers when they were teeny boppers. Now, I wonder if people can hear that beep.
The beep.
Tell me something about Root Shakedown. What do you guys got going on? I mean,
yeah,
great Root Shakedown. That's how I found you when I was gigging out with my band when I was like transitioning from high school to college, like around that summertime. I found you guys because I heard you guys just heavy 3-part harmonies, super super tight rhythm section, just good old like roots reggae, but it kind of jams. It jams pretty hard. So yeah, I saw you guys, and that's kind of like how I first met you. So tell me about Root Shakedown.
Yeah, man, Root Shakedown. We've been doing it since like 2010. Me and my buddy Tony Contreras, we started it, and a couple of members have like come and gone along the way. But yeah, just full on reggae rock. You know, we love bands like the Black Seeds and, you know, Catch a Fire, and obviously like Revolution and American stuff like that too. But yeah, that's kind of how it all started for me, playing bass with those guys, and it's been awesome along the way. We got to open up for like Steel Pulse and some other incredible reggae acts along the way.
That Steel Pulse show was sick.
Yeah, you were there, right?
Yeah, I was front row screaming.
Dude, that was sick.
I see the poster right behind me. I see it was Monday, July 13th, Steel Pulse, Root Shakedown, at Revolution in Fort Lauderdale.
Right, yeah, Revolution, shout out to them. Cool venue.
Yeah, then I see got some other sick posters in here.
Yeah, we got like a wall of all our old flyers that we keep in our studio, just reminding us of all the good times and all the shows we've done along the way.
You guys played with the Movement, Pacifier, New Kingston, Be Liminal. Shout out to Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce. I saw you had a video with him or something, right?
Yeah, that was season 1 because Musicians Daily, we're always creating consistent content for musicians, so we always have different videos like on YouTube and stuff. And one of our segments was Meet Musicians Daily for season 1, where I sat down and just pretty much interviewed people. And Bryce has been a big inspiration to me. I remember seeing him all around when I was like a freshman in high school, like just really kind of get my feet wet into like the music scene here. And he's, I mean, not even the fact, like separating the fact like how nice of a guy he is and all that stuff too, but just like how like devoted he is to his craft of music and just songwriting. And just even like how much of like a big supporter he is in the music scene here, or even just the art and community.
Right. Yeah. Bryce is like one of the most positive people you could possibly meet if you ever like talk to the dude, man. And he's so cool to everyone he meets along the way. So he's definitely like a big influence and inspiration to all the musicians that kind of came up in Palm Beach, or like especially up in the Jupiter area, you know. And I can remember some crazy shows with Box Elder back in the day. One of them that stands out is at the Carefree Theater when this was still open. It's actually
where's that?
Not too far away from where we are right now. It's It was off Dixie Highway, just south of West Palm. But old school theater style, and they had some sick shows back in the day. But Surfrider Foundation put on this like old school Sean Thompson, which is a famous surfer from back in the day, old school video called Free Ride. And Sean Thompson came with the video, and Box Elder happened to be like playing after the video was done. And I just remember the place going nuts. I mean, I was probably like 16 at the time and like sneaking beers. Yeah. But, like, it was just like one of those like classic shows you go to. So shout out to Bryce and Box Elder and Matt too, man. Matt up there.
Yeah, Matt's crushing it with Roots Music, always providing good shows for the town, and just really, I mean, like just another cat, just super, super. Oh, you crushed that cockroach?
I did.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if they heard that crunch.
Oh, I hope you guys did.
Man, saw the level spike up. But
we cut that part out.
Yeah, well, I might keep it. I don't know. But yeah, man, yeah, we got some great people in the scene. So yeah, you were 16 at that?
Dude, something like that. And one other show real quick I want to mention from Box Elder, which was epic at the time, was at at the Civic Center, actually.
Oh man, the legendary Civic Center.
Yes. It was for the Jupiter Fall Classic, like the surf contest they used to have every year up there. And I remember that place being like over capacity, and it's an old wooden building, and the floor was just like flexing with people. Like
how many people do you think were in there?
I mean,
was it like shoulder to shoulder or?
Yeah, it was nuts to butts.
Nuts to. I got the image now, man.
You know what I mean? It was
dude, I know what you mean.
And the cops actually came and shut down that show, unfortunately. But that was the same thing. Like, I was a younger kid, you know, just hanging out with all my friends, just having such a good time. So, shout out to all those guys, man. That was an awesome era for music in Palm Beach County, you know, as it is today as well.
No, for sure. Yeah, they. I mean, when Box Elder formed, I think I was 1995. I was just born when they formed. But yeah, because the first time I saw them was because they don't play. I mean, they started playing back again. I know they took that break, but
Right.
I saw them at Reggae on the River, or Dirty River Reggae, however you like to call it now. At Guanabanas, like a big annual festival Matt from Roots Music puts on.
Yeah, Matt.
And that's the first time I saw them, and it was crazy just seeing how excited and happy people were. And it's just awesome to kind of see stuff like that. I mean, it's like,
they definitely have that like diehard fan base, you know, like.
And yeah, it's just awesome, and just all those people up there. I mean, even if it was just like 10 people out in the crowd, they would still play the same way as it was like 1,000 people, and that's like the type of musicians I like, really like a lot. That's why I think our area out here is pretty sick as far as talent and musicians.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and shout out to all the local venues that allow like original music, you know, like there's all sorts of venues popping up left and right, from, you know, all the way down south and Delray and Boca area all the way up to Stewart, you know. Like,
what kind of venues have you been playing, or what do you like?
Well, Guanabanas is always a treat. We just played up there the other night with the Root Shakedown, and as you know, man, that place is always just so much fun and such a good time always. Where else? ER Bradley's, I have a weekly gig every Tuesday. Yeah, every Tuesday night, ER Bradley's, man, and those guys have been supporting me for a long time, and that's another great place to play, just because they have live music 7 nights a week, like, you know, and just supporting local musicians, and people come out and appreciate the music, so that's a great place as well. Let's see, and then you actually got me a gig up at this place, Crafted Keg.
Yeah, Crafted Keg in Stewart,
yeah. I'm digging that place a lot. It's right across the street from Terra Firmata, which is another great place to play, you know?
Yes, sir.
And yeah, man, it just seems like there's a lot of venues popping up now, so it's great to see all these new places to play and all these great new young bands and musicians that are coming out right now in Palm Beach and Martin County and the surrounding area.
For sure, and I mean, just like, and all the opportunity that's there for people too. And yeah, Crafted Keg is sick. I'm gonna go live on Instagram just to see if we get any more social media questions. What are your pet peeves? What grinds your gears?
Just negative vibes. People that try to bring drama or attention around, you know, like try to be a peaceful person and just positive vibes only, you know?
Just like if I walked in the door, I'm like, today sucks. I hate it.
I'd be like, hey, change your attitude.
Man.
But yeah, man.
That beep is something else. Oh, we got Smitty Balls watching us in Tierra Leona. What up? And Cardinal Moses. So,
shout out to Cardinal Moses, Sam.
Yeah,
buddy, sounding good.
Shout out to Smitty Balls, Brian Smith. He's honestly the inspiration to this podcast, because Hugs and Hugs. I don't listen. Like, the only time I got interested into podcasts was because I mean, you know, being in a band, like when you travel, you're kind of like in a confined.
Got a lot of time to kill.
Yeah, you got a lot of time to kill when you're traveling around. You're in a confined space for a while. And Jesse, like, yeah, Jesse was showing me some podcasts, and I was just like, this is not good, Jesse. You got some weird taste, dude. He was showing me some like history stuff. I like fell asleep on the window, and it just wasn't like what I liked, and I just thought it was dumb. And I just tried getting into other podcasts because I like business-y type of like analytics, startup businesses and stuff like that. So I was listening to that too. It just wasn't really my cup of tea. And then Brian Smith came out with a podcast called Hugs and Hugs, another local musician to the area, really good guy, but he's out in California now doing big things. He came out with that podcast. I listened to that like religiously.
Yeah, man. Podcasts, I realize, are good for like long drives in the car and stuff.
For sure.
Sometimes you get burnt out on listening to the same music that you listen to over and over again. So it's nice to switch it up a little podcast and kind of kill some time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially kind of like in the mornings, like early mornings. I mean, what do you? Because I mean, you do like some dawn patrol stuff when you're surfing, right?
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I have like conflicting lifestyles of staying out late and playing gigs as a musician and then trying to wake up early to go surfing. So, but as far as the stuff I listen to, I like listening to a lot of instrumental stuff like when I'm driving for some reason. I don't know why, but
like what?
Just like old school like Santo and Johnny, like 50s like melodic surf.
Yeah,
rock instrumental, like
for sure,
stuff,
for sure. No,
like I don't know, even like funky like instrumentals, like new master sounds and stuff like that.
I'm like that way after a gig when you just like get in the car, it's late, your ears are like already ringing, and you just
listen to
you don't want to listen to anything. Like sometimes like that has lyrics at least. I sometimes listen to instrumental stuff or just like really like roll down the windows and just like listen to like the sounds of the street and crap like that, as like deep and weird that sounds.
Driving in silence is nice sometimes.
Driving in silence is very nice.
Yes,
sometimes
I agree.
We have we're going live right now, and I see a question. Jacob,
we're live.
Jacob, can you rap? I can't rap, but Brett can. Brett, can you rap?
But they wanted you to rap. I can drop a beat and you can rap.
Okay, can we try that?
You want to try it?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
So I'm here at Root Shakedown Ground Pound. I'm with Brett Staska. He's to my left. You already know I just do it for show. Yeah, the beat went wacky. Brett's looking kind of tacky. He messed up.
Hey, bro. Hold on.
Oh, bring the beat back. Bring the beat back.
This is going to be a freestyle battle now. Yeah. You're trying to call me out. Hang on. Yeah. Yo. I'm talking Jacob tacos. He like to eat them. Mexican food, you can't beat him. He work out. He cut his hair. Used to look like Jesus, but now he don't care. Nah, Helmsman, what you really know? Smoking on the sticky icky hydro. Oh, shit.
Man, that's pretty good. We have Smitty Ball, totally with you on listening to chill music or nothing after a gig. Yeah, so we got Brian Smith kind of like agreeing with me.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's the man. I mean, so like if we agree,
that's right. Anything he says goes.
Anything he says with us, I totally agree with it. Yeah, no, after some long nights of some gigs and your ears are just ringing.
For sure.
I kind of want to talk about your relationship with Vans and Blue microphones for a little bit. I mean, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So my buddy Sean Ferreira. Yeah, Sean. I don't know if you'd ever see this, but shout out to you, buddy. He's actually the like Southeast rep for Vans, and he hit me up one day and he's like, "Hey, are you interested in repping for Vans?" He actually just sent me a message, and I thought he meant like being like a sales rep or whatever, like going from surf shop to surf shop, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down," you know. And he's like, "Give me a call." So I call him up, and he's like, "No, man, we just want to give you some free stuff, and you know." And I'm like, "Well, what do you want me to do on my end?" And he said, "Just keep doing what you're doing." So
that's awesome. That's like super nice. I mean, you don't.
So basically, just getting like floated free product. You know, that's my relationship with them.
Yeah, and what you're already doing is nothing like lazy or less. I mean, you're hustling, you're out there gigging and this and that. So now you have kind of like a company that respects what you're doing to back you up. It's pretty awesome.
And that's cool, man, because like I said, I surf a lot too, and they have like a long history of surfing and obviously supporting music with the Vans Warped Tour
for
and
sure.
all sorts of bands along the way. So it's an awesome company to work with, man, and I'm super fortunate.
Yeah, I use Vans for weightlifting when I'm doing them.
Dude, you can't see how jacked this guy is, but he's the size of like a Roman gladiator.
It's my Greek genetics. I'm not really that jacked. It's all for show, but no, I love my pair of Vans, and it's awesome to hear that they're a good company to work with. I just started working for Lagunitas, the beer company out in Petaluma. Delicious. We got our IPA, a little something something, and a company like someone that big and popular, I have nothing but great things to say about them. They're awesome to work with
man,
too.
That's cool.
So hearing about Vans and definitely how your connection with that too is awesome. So tell me a little bit about Blue Microphones.
So Blue Mics, I have an older brother, Matt Staska, my oldest brother. He lives out in Santa Barbara, California, and through some other company like RME or something, he had a relationship with someone, and he just reached out to Blue Microphones as an artist, and they got back to him, and they were super stoked on the stuff, and they basically floated us a bunch of their high-end microphones,
right?
Like their ribbon mics and stuff, to shoot a couple like promo videos and whatnot, and we got to keep some of the product, and they just hook us up with like half off discount now, and it's awesome, man. Blue Mics, they have a bunch of good stuff, from like portable USB mics to high-end ribbon mics, that thousands and thousands of dollars. So shout out to them. They're a great company to work with as well.
Yeah, their quality is great. I have the Snowball mic with the USB.
The Snowball.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's like the small little computer one, right?
Yeah, it's super easy to use for kind of some home recordings, or even for like voiceover type of stuff just in the bedroom. But yeah, they're great. Yeah, it's actually funny that you talked about like video promo stuff. I ran into that video you and your brother did with some Blue Mics when you're out in California. That was one of your songs, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, so we just did that real quick out there in Cali, and we used their mics, obviously. And yeah, man, anytime I'm out there, I always try to record a little something with him, or line up some shows, or do something out in California in like the Santa Barbara area. And we actually got to play at the Soho last time, which is like a pretty popular and well-known venue down in downtown Santa Barbara. So that was a treat.
You did that like a duo with your brother, or solo?
Yeah, we did a duo, and then he has like a cover band out there.
Nice.
That do a bunch of cover gigs. So they kind of like backed me up, and it was kind of like full band, but with like not really like drums and full on like that,
right?
But like
right.
acoustic full band, So
for sure,
it was rad, man. And I love playing out there in Cali. The vibes are always proper. People really love like music, especially original music.
Yeah. So touching back on a full band, so is Brett Staska ever going to be a full band sort of thing? Because I know you do the solo stuff kind of out and about, but we were talking about that earlier. You ever going to kind of branch out and do somewhat like a full band for your original stuff, or?
I guess if the gig calls for it, we could. But I usually just like to keep it solo with just my name, just because I don't know, I feel like it's easier and less confusing that way, you know what I mean? I feel like if I was to start a full band, I would probably name it something else, What
would you name it?
I don't want to sound conceited or anything, name everything like Brett Staska, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that, so I would name it something else. I don't know.
What would you name it?
I have no idea.
Think of a name right now, and
I have no idea.
Stick with it.
I honestly have no idea. It's one of those things you gotta like sit on,
Yeah.
As you know, right?
Oh, I definitely know.
That's like one of the hardest things is coming up with a band name.
Coming
honestly,
up with a band name, logo, just like, because it's branding, and branding is like huge.
But like band name, like you're sticking with that for like
the
long run. You know what I mean? So
for sure, it's hard. Yeah.
It's hard to come up with.
Come up with something.
Got to sit around and do a lot of rock paper scissors and
get some tally on some names and and stuff like that. But Yeah. So to wrap things up, what are some things you got going on in the future for surfing, traveling, and your music, of course?
Yeah, I'm gonna come out with another 2-track 45 coming up here in a little bit. 2 brand new songs, kind of the same vein as the last one, like full band, little bluesy type stuff. And then I have my 30th birthday coming up actually.
Oh my God,
this next
when?
year. So I'm trying to do a big trip. I think I want to go down to Australia, and I'm gonna try and line up some shows when I go down there in March. I'm gonna try and shoot for March of next year.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to that trip. And then with Reach Shakedown, we got a full-length album coming out that we've been working on for quite a while here. Shout out to Mikey McCleary.
Mikey.
Down there, Shade Tree. Yeah, buddy. And yeah, man, it's been a long process, but a lot of this stuff takes time, as you know, Jacob. So
boy, I know.
But yeah, man, so we got the full length coming out, more solo stuff coming out, just continue to travel and surf and play as much music as I can along the way.
Right on. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, unless there's anything you want to ask me or talk about.
Nah, man, just thanks for having me, and shout out to Musicians Daily for killing it with the daily content. Subscribe, stay tuned.
Yeah, we got some more stuff coming up. So, yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, if you have any comments or concerns. You can email us at musiciansdaily@gmail.com. This is a podcast called Music and More, presented by Musicians Daily. I have Brett Staska with me, and if you guys like him, go check out all of his stuff. And if you like him, if you want him back, just let me know. We'll probably be doing some more stuff in the future.
If you hate him, let us know.
If you don't like Brett, let us know still. And again, I apologize about the beeping in the background. I have no idea if this is even going to go through. The beeping.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's whatever.
It's whatever. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast. It's and it's my podcast, so it's definitely.
So who
nothing
really
serious.
cares?
Yeah. Yeah. On that note, goodbye.
See ya.